My dear friends, we love you so very much. Imagine you had a magical television. Whatever you were thinking would appear on the screen. The more emotion you feel about your thoughts, the greater the clarity and detail become. As your thoughts change, the picture changes. As your emotions change, the picture becomes clearer or fuzzier. The more you hold your focus, the more the story you are watching will evolve. Each time you shift, the picture on your screen shifts with you. Dear ones, this is your life, except for one tiny detail. Unlike that magic TV, you get a time delay between what you think and what you start to see in your waking life. You get to build momentum before the scene starts to appear, and happily, you have time to course correct before unwanted things begin to appear in your reality. This is why faith, which many of you define as a belief in things unseen, is one of your most powerful tools. We would rather call faith the ability to focus on things unseen, or, even better, the ability to focus on what you want to see. When you focus your feelings with attention action, 𝐼𝐻 harmony, you will eventually cultivate the faith you call a belief in things unseen. Faith, as we know it, is not a passive belief in the benevolence of a God outside of yourself who will grant you favors. Faith is focusing your feelings with attention and action so as to exist in total harmony with the love that lives within you, the love. None of you will do this all the time, but the more you can, the better you will feel, and the more you will enjoy your guidance, magic, and miracles. Magic is not magical, dear ones, it is just a word you use when you begin to experience the synchronicity of the non-physical realms. Miracles are not really miracles. They are scientifically predictable results of vibrational alignment. Someday science will understand this, but for now, understand that faith, your ability to focus your feelings with attention and action in total harmony with the love that you are, is your key to magic and miracles. When you align with love, you align with the core essence of all things and all beings. You tune into a reality, the show on your life TV, where loving beings cooperate in ways beyond their individual comprehension. You are tuning into the reality where you are guided and in which you will experience beautiful synchronicities. When you focus your feelings with attention and action in total harmony with love, then, dear ones, you are not subject to the lower vibrational attempts to manipulate and control you. Aligned with love, you have compassion for all but a strong sense of self, trust in your guidance, and surrender to life's daily offerings. You will have taught yourself, through experience, that what is in front of you will ultimately work out for you. So how do you cultivate faith, dear one? We hear you ask this so often. The answer is a simple one, but one that must be put into action. You practice. You focus your feelings with attention and action in total harmony with love as often as possible. You don't try to fake love. You try to find things you can love. Don't pretend to love people you don't or can't easily love. Focus on those you can. Don't pretend to like the food you don't like. Find food you do. Don't focus your feelings with attention and action on what you despise to fight against it. Focus your feelings with attention and action on that which you love to empower. If you fight hunger, you will just see more and more of it on your life TV, thus empowering that show better to focus on those who like to feed and serve, thus empowering a more powerful reality. One will drag you down and disempower you. The other will raise you up, inspire you, and inspire others. If you say you love and forgive your ex or former boss but feel your jaws tightening and your breath becoming shallow, then, dear ones, your thoughts are noble, but your emotions aren't there yet. Focus on something more pleasant. Use your precious tools of attention and action to be in total harmony with love by finding things and beings you can more easily feel good about. If you love your dessert more than your former boss, bask in the glory of your wondrous dessert, wish this individual peace, then put them out of your mind by focusing on something or someone more pleasant. You would not want to watch every show on your television. You have your preferences. Likewise, you would not want to watch every show on your life TV. Replace the things you no longer wish to observe with better thoughts. It isn't that difficult. If we asked you to name the most frustrating person in your life and then list at least 50 better things to think about, you'd be able to write this list in no time. There are no medals in heaven for choosing the hardest path to love, dear friends. As water tries to find the easiest course, love does too. Be kind to yourselves. Don't try to love the ones you can't love right now. Love what you can, and eventually you will be so filled with love that even your worst enemy, who we would call your greatest teacher, will be just another person on your path of expansion. The more you practice focusing your feelings with attention and action in total harmony with love, the more you will cultivate what you traditionally call faith, a belief in things unseen. As you start to see your truly positive thoughts and authentically good feelings attract more and more in your life, you will see the vibrational universe in action. You will come to know, through experience, that the unseen will not remain unseen for long. You will show yourself that the more you can focus on and feel what feels good, the quicker the good will appear on the screen of your life TV. We want the best show on earth for every one of you. God bless you. We love you so very much. The angels. Sanhya, is a long life something to be valued? We had a question from a reader in Taiwan who wrote, and I am paraphrasing, "Life in its natural state is pure energy, so why do we call life a gift? Why is there an obsession with the longevity of life? Does Sanhya wish to return to the solid body and low vibratory life conditions again with all the uncertainty and challenges?" I am aware that the Asian cultures, the Chinese, Japanese, and Korean, at least have a need to jump on the bandwagon of living long and being healthy. As Spock and the Vulcans said, live long and prosper. Of course, one should take care of health, but as to how long one can live, who knows? Long life can be like longer sentences on death row. Sooner or later, it is all over, the body deteriorates and we become a burden for others and ourselves. It seems that the reader has a fairly good handle on the question, but we will go a little deeper. Since time does not exist, how can it have a value? Living long has no meaning if time is not real. What those of you who are reading this are doing now is living. Otherwise, you would have difficulty opening this message. You are in the now, and that's all there is. There is no future. If you believe it exists, I will ask the questions. Where is that future? Can you get there from here? How do you do that? If somebody has an answer to these questions, please write back, and we'll have a conversation. The same questions arise with the past. All that is here is the present, and in these few moments that you have been reading, how many presents have there been? As soon as you try to describe what is happening, you are referring to the past. The present is constantly moving and morphing. Any attempt to explain or understand it pulls you out of the now and into the past. You are no longer fully experiencing the present. If you accept that time is real and has a value, it might make sense to think that more time is a good thing. However, as the reader pointed out, if your experience of life in your body is hellish, then perhaps a longer life is not to be desired, and time instead holds a negative value. A shorter life might feel more desirable, less time in hell. Those who choose suicide might hold this negative view on time and earthly experience. The reader asks if I would wish to return to a solid body. This is another crazy question, one that implies that choice exists. I simply act. I do not act out of choice but flow with the oneness. If you believe in choice, you are constantly pulled out of the now into your mind to search the archives for information to guide that choice. This is in lieu of letting yourself be present and going with the flow. It is a recipe for hell on earth. Less time or more time doesn't matter. All that matters is now. Your reasons for leaving or staying all come from thoughts from your past, which, as you may recall, doesn't exist. Some cultures, in fact most modern cultures, place a value on a long life. They believe it is a tragedy when someone dies at a young age. The younger the person, the greater the catastrophe. Even with somebody older, perhaps quite along in years, the death is still often held as a tragic event. All kinds of medicines, surgeries, and treatments are invested in, sometimes at great cost, to sustain the physical life. It is as if more days of life has a positive quality in and of itself. Rather than accepting that all will die, there is an attempt to fight what is, which eventually will be the person's physical death. Why would one want to live longer? That idea can only come from a mind that is not in the present. In the now, you are alive. You cannot live in the past or the future. If you are thinking about living longer, you are no longer in the now, you have stopped living. That is to say that the only place you can experience life is in the now. You can't experience it in the future or the past. You are then pretending to be someplace else. You are in a dream within the dream. Whatever reasons there are for being in this dream exist only in the now. Having a focus to live long means not living now. This connects with the words expressed in the last message about goals. I know that none of you are like this. But you might know of someone who denies themselves certain pleasures in the present out of the belief that this will help them live longer and have greater health in the future. Sacrifice today for tomorrow. Well, that's a good plan. Perhaps if you deny yourself everything that might make the present more enjoyable, you could live forever. Just kidding, well, just a little bit. Seriously, if joy can only be in the future and you only can live in the now, your self-denial will be forever and your joy will be for never. There is only one reason why you are here, and that is to awaken to the truth of yourself. The only place that you can do that is in the present. It doesn't matter how much time you give yourself in order to wake up. That awakening will always remain in the future. But guess where you are? You are stuck in the now. How do you get to this future where you will be awake? Again, please write to us if you can explain that one so that we can discuss it. If you know how to do that, you are sitting on a gold mine. We have another little matter here. Let's just say that you could convince us that having a long life would be a good thing. How would you go about creating that? We are assuming that you find life to be bearable enough that the thought of longevity doesn't scare the hell out of you, or at least it scares you less than the thought of death. You must now have the belief that you can affect the timing of your earthly departure. Perhaps you are jogging every day, working out at the gym 3 times a week, eating a vegan macrobiotic diet, abstaining from alcohol, tobacco and drugs, fasting and purifying your body, doing yoga, meditating and more. Are you certain that will lead you to living a longer, healthier life? Are you sure that an object won't fall out of the sky and land on your head? Are you sure that your electric car battery won't explode? Do you know for certain that a terrorist won't step into the store where you are shopping and blow himself and you up with his strapped-on bomb? Obviously, we're just having some fun here, but wouldn't it be ironic to come to such an end after giving your present over to guaranteeing a long and healthy life? The question again is, are you certain that no such present could happen for you? The larger question is, are you certain that you can control the future? That future that doesn't exist. Are you sure you have that kind of control? How's your track record? Has everything in your life come exactly as you have had it planned so far? Be honest here. This is your present you are thinking of sacrificing. If things always happen according to your hopes, go for it. When you celebrate your 200th birthday, send me a postcard. I know all communication will at least be electronic by then, but you catch my drift. The rest of you recognize that things don't happen just the way you want them to. I will point out, though, that if you are in the now, absolutely, and notice what is happening, you will know that all is occurring perfectly, and you would choose to change nothing. Your thinking, planning mind doesn't have a clue what is in your best interest. What is in your now is absolutely in your best interest. It is necessary to see it, to not resist it, but rather to welcome it in, opening to the wonder of it. You might as well. It is here and isn't going anywhere. The last place to be is in the illusory future, or wondering how long this now is going to last. Let's get on to the real biggie. Wanting to live longer is about the fear of death. If you are living in the now, totally present, there is no time. You are fully living. In truth, you are always fully living, but when you are not present, you can become oblivious to that. Can you remember a time when you weren't conscious, when you didn't feel alive? If you can, please add that to your list of messages you can send to me. Tell me what that experience was like. Oh wait, how could you do that unless you had some consciousness in that moment? Not wanting to die is the fear of no consciousness. This is the terror that many do not want to face. The belief is that you are your body, and when your body goes, so do you down a black hole, into oblivion, never to exist again. The only way to deal with fear is to be totally in the present with it. Go right into that fear, that chasm, that void. See what is there. Feel where you carry it in your body. Use the 5-step process with your fear of death. A famous songwriter once penned the lines, "He who is not busy living is busy dying." Living is done in the present. If you are somewhere else, you are busy dying. Not only that, but you likely think that death is real. Believing in reincarnation is no different than affirming the existence of heaven and hell. It is avoiding the now, trying to mask the fear of death with a happy or terrifying picture of what will happen after your body dies. Everything you could possibly wish or hope for, all your dreams, are right here in this moment. It has nothing to do with your body. The body is merely the form in which you are experiencing the now. The future and past have nothing to inform you of. In the now is the absolute knowing of the truth of you, of your isness that cannot be destroyed. The script has already been written. Where, how, and when the death of your body will occur has been determined. You are only fooling yourself if you think you can have any control over that. When I say that you all share the purpose of awakening, that is not to say it will be experienced in the present incarnation. Those of you who are reading these messages or are actively focused on living in the present have a higher likelihood of such realization, but nothing is guaranteed by your efforts. You are all aware of people who think a spiritual focus, such as we write about here, is insane. They accept the world as real and want to either make it better, get their share of the pie, or are hopelessly despondent. Perhaps they believe there is no God or oneness or whatever it might be called, or that it is just a random universe, and we are all victims of whatever might be coming down. Without any thought or intention toward waking up, it is less likely for them to experience that in this now. That is fine. It is written when that stirring will begin. It is none of your business. If their thoughts and actions disturb you, it is just mirroring the part of you that shares the same fears and beliefs. Thanks for the reflection. What is certain is your awakening. The timing is known, just not to you. It makes no difference in the illusion of time if it happens now, in 10 years, or in 10 lifetimes. It makes no difference. When you wake up, time stops. Past and future dissolve, there is just now. When that is your truth, it will not matter how long it took to get there, because there is no awareness of a past. Meanwhile, the more you can succeed in remaining in the now and not letting your thoughts lead you, the more possibility there is for peace and joy now. I want to return to the very beginning of this month's question. There seems to be a concern in the reader's mind as to whether life is really a gift. Everything is a gift. Everything happening in each instant is a gift. It is only the mind rejecting what is given and thinking something else to be better that keeps this gift from being received and enjoyed. Only an unquestioning mind, unled by past thoughts, can achieve this. The questioner goes on to suggest that a long life isn't something to wish for or wish onto another, because it will just make your prison term longer. Yes, if you are not in the now, longevity may mean more time in hell. However, an early death is no reprieve. It simply postpones the awakening to another bodily experience. Nothing wrong with that, but equating being in a body with suffering comes from not living in the now. Seeing life as a struggle, as a negative thing, comes from not living in the now. Being in the present has nothing to do with how long you will live. It has nothing to do with time. The gifts are simply here now, waiting for you to embrace them. Those things that are real do not deteriorate and break down. Death is a gift for the one who can go no farther towards awakening in this body. Your life is forever. The death of this body, like its birth, is just a story, just a movie, just an illusion. The truth is here in the now.